Hello friends, and welcome back to Mistful Musings with Morgana. Today we have a very big reading. This is such a pivotal energetic space we sit in. The theme of our reading, what is done in the dark will be brought to light. And yes, it will be brought to light. It is being brought to light. It is a time where we will take our sword of truth and reclaim our power, manifesting our next reality, friends, our next reality. Okay, first thing I want to say here is that when I was doing this reading, as I was setting up today, there were so many challenges. There were so many attempts to stop me or sidetrack me or distract me from actually doing the reading. So many electronic stuff, like just so much stop. So what I see, I felt into that a little bit. And what I feel is that sometimes when we have such a big message of truth, when we have something so important to say, some of that, kind of darker energy, that more voidish space, right? That all of those energies that don't have a light source, don't have a power source, will rear its ugly head and throw little roadblocks in your way. And it's an opportunity, again, to take up your sword of truth and say, you know what, this is not happening. Like, I am going to get this message out. I'm going to say my truth. I'm going to speak up, right? I'm going to inspire people. I'm going to show up, even if it's hard, and do the damn thing. And so that's what we're doing today, right? So if you have distractions, if you have roadblocks, if things have been being thrown in your way, right? Now is the time to be like, all right, I see you, and you won't stop me from showing up exactly how I need to show up in this world. We're done with those. We're done. I see you. You don't get my attention. I'm going to do it anyway, right? And always check in, always discern to make sure that you're truly, aligned with what you're doing. But yeah, so that's number one. Okay, so we're sitting in, as I said, big energy we're sitting in right now. We've had a bunch of planets move into Aquarius, spurring last week, right? A lot of really game-changing, we're changing the game-changing shifts and transformations. And today we have Neptune moving into Aries. This is huge. This is absolutely ginormous. So Neptune is the planet of like dreams and hopes and wishes, and sometimes it can be illusions and delusions, and a huge spiritual planet, all of that kind of stuff, very, very emotional. And it has been in Pisces for the past, since 2011, which many of us, and maybe you were part of that collective, had a massive wake-up call. Many people stepped into the space of doubling down on their energetic knowledge, moving more into, a subconscious space, and recognizing that there is more to life than just the stuff that we're experiencing in this matrix world on the surface, right? So this was a huge call to explore the depths of our emotions, our truth, really diving into femininity, reclaiming the feminine spirit, reclaiming our magic. And now we're not being asked to sit in circles, holding hands, singing Kumbaya anymore. It's done. I'm sorry, Pisces. That was the space for that, right? Now it's time to get out of the circle and go put all of that knowledge and that wisdom and that truth into action. As Neptune moves into Aries, it's spurring inspiration. It's spurring sparks of movement. It's spurring, hey, it's asking you, like, how are you either going to finally see the illusions and delusions for what they are and move past them in a different way? Or how are you taking those energetic or spiritual truths that you learned, right? All of that esoteric wisdom, how are you going to actually implement that into our earth, right? and change the reality, change the game, right? How are you going to make heaven on earth, right? Bringing back some of that Garden of Eden sovereignty plan, placing it, seeding it into this planet. How are you going to do that? So it's asking for movement. It's asking for integration. And again, this is a big ask. Neptune's going to be in Aries for 14 years, which is a long time. So this isn't an overnight type of change. And so we're going to be intuitively led to create and truly manifest into the earth some of these dreams. So be graceful with yourself, be patient with yourself as you navigate these waters. And navigate, I should say, the water meeting the fire, which creates steam, which creates mist, right? And what's my channel? Mistful Musings, right? With Morgana. So like the mist contains moisture, right? Divine rides along the moisture channels. It informs you, it inspires you. And again, like sometimes you have to rip off, what you think you're seeing and really tap into what you're feeling inside to create the vision that is there. So as we navigate this steamy kind of moment, right? Be gentle with yourself. So part of the challenge of this very fighting energy where it's like, okay, now what are you going to do with it, right? Is balance. Make sure to use rest, relaxation, playfulness, joy, celebration, and creativity as part of your implementation strategy. This is not balls to the wall 100% of the time. No, this is playing the long game, right? Which includes rejuvenating your spirit and tapping into intuitive source, right? Intuitive source codes that you have within each of your cells. So this is not a burnout mode. Yes, you may know, right? Very clear, this and that, like you see it. The aha moment has landed. What's done in the dark will be brought to the light. This is the moment, right? It is a contrast moment. So you get the vision. Now your job is to slowly implement it into the earth, right? And you'll have all of that creativity. You'll have that inspiration moving through your cells. Just make sure that it is working with you, right? Instead of running you. This isn't a moment of chaos and confusion. We have our clarity, right? We're in a clear space. But we are being asked to use creation and joy and celebration to help support the birthing of our integration. Okay, so let's jump into it. So that's the energy we're in right now, truly. We are a container of it's like the bubbling pot. I think I said this on the last reading. It's the bubbling cauldron, it's the bubbling pot. And we know that when the pot boils over, it creates steam, right? We're now steaming into that space. Like we're cooking with gas, right? Just make sure, don't burn yourself out. So let's jump into the reading. I have pulled from 3 different decks today, and we're going to clarify it with some tarot to see what we need to know. How is this energy? How are we going to be supported in this energy? Okay, so the first deck, I love my Avalonian deck. So the first deck, the first card I got here was number 17, which equals the number 8. It is strength. It is karma. Wrapping up those karmic loops so that we can jump into more of a karmically abundant space, like why we're here. Why did you come here? Good question to ask yourself. Why did you come here? All right. And it is divine flow, right? So we get the Lady of the Lake. This is the feminine spirit navigating those kind of mistful-filled waters. And she represents mystery, self-knowledge, the goddess, and the other world. I love that. So let's read a little bit about the Lady of the Lake. Only the pure of heart gain entry to the precious realms. Please abide or be ushered aside. And again, this is like, all right, there's a divide here, right? It is this or it is that, right? Be pure of heart and move and be stimulated, inspired by your truth. Seek the sword of truth, right? And what is she holding in her hands? It is the sword of truth. We see her. She is ready to be a warrior. She's ready to go to battle. But the sword is not out of its sheath, right? She holds the sword of truth. She does not need to like cut off heads and stuff. She's just got it. She recognizes her sword of truth. So seek the sword of truth and integrity within yourself. Take control of your own life and make the most of what skills and talents you have. You are stronger than you think. Stand in your own power. Use the Lady of the Lake card as a guide to navigate the deep waters of your emotions as you move on to the next stage of your own journey. Have courage and don't underestimate your efforts so far. You have yet to reach your end destination. And the mantra for this card is, I create my own reality. And we truly do, right? We truly do. With how we utilize the vibrations in our mind, in our emotions, in our body. And no, we may not create the vibrations in totality of our external world, but we have the option of how we react to that, right? And whether we shy away from that or we take that, really become conscious of it, right? Be conscious of the truth, bring out some of those things that happen behind the scenes, in the dark, in the other world, bring them to the surface, and then not be afraid to move on those things as we feel divinely guided to do so. So it's asking you, what is your sword of truth? What have you been hiding from the world? What have you been having trouble navigating, right? And how can you use your authentic sword of truth to birth a new reality internally in this microcosmic sphere, right? As well as out into the macrocosmic space. Now, a lot's going on in the world too, right? And we're not going to handle all of the world's problems just ourselves. But what we can do is we can each pick up our sword of truth and navigate and show up in our authentic space, not hiding who we are, not hiding or shying our voice, however you're feeling guided to do so. Show up. This card is saying, show up, right? Show up. And Neptune in Aries is asking you, be conscious of how you're supposed to show up or not supposed to, right? But how you feel guided to do so, and then go do it, right? Take that sword of truth, rip the illusions and delusions off your eyes, and boldly start to move that energy through. The second card, and I should say, yeah, I tried to pick one card, but literally 5 popped out. And I use this deck a lot. It's the Threads of Fate. And I use this deck a lot to navigate through our shadows or our underworld spaces. So like, speak to us. What do we need to see that we're not? And so we'll go through these cards. The first card, of course, is the underworld, literally. So they're like, what is in the shadows still? What needs to be brought to light? What's done in the dark will be brought to light. And we're definitely seeing this, on like more of a macrocosmic space. And a lot, I'm seeing it with my clients and stuff. A lot of individual transformation is afoot this year, right? So it is really confronting. What is your shadows, your cycles, your behaviors? What old patterns are no longer conducive for what you're going to be building, right? And what how your destiny is calling you to show up. What attachments do you have? Where are you looping? Where are your addictions? So it's time to look, because the answers are going to be found in the underworld. And what do we need to do here with those? We are going to transmute them. Energy is never created nor destroyed. It only changes form. And so we can find our medicine like the honeybee. We can find our balm, right? By transforming our underworld shadows into powerful beacons of light. I cannot make this up. Like, I just kept pulling these cards and they're like, no, we all want them. My guides were like, we all want them. So I was like, okay, so how are we using that transmutative energy to show up powerfully in our light and allow our own light to guide us, but then also light the way for others, right? How can we be leaders for other people as well? That sparks a revolution, again with the torches. Like, again, I can't. And the fire, we're in Aries, like lighting shit up. So again, how can that spark a personal revolution that will add to this like collective flow of reclaiming our sovereignty in our world and how we experience our world? And the last card we got is manifest, all right? What are we manifesting? You know, we have so much talk about like the new world. And no, that new world isn't found outside ourselves. It's not like, oh, we're moving into the 5D or like whatever. No, like we're bringing it in. We are creating our new world by doing the work, right? By taking back our power, by transmuting the bullshit that we have been fed, that we're participating in, reclaiming our sovereign right? And moving into a space of, divine sovereignty, guys. Yes. So these cards are just flowing, speaking. It is, like I said, it's clear as day, you know, like there is no shades of gray here. It is absolutely clear. So they're asking you to take that sort of truth and start really calling yourself out, and how you're showing up right in the world, and how can we navigate and support our beings to move into that space of creation, to create our world and the external world. Of course, the angel card we got here today was the card of transition. Hi, again, transmute. And it's the card of 3, 4, 5. You are in a period of transition and change. Embrace the new beginnings and trust in the process of transformation unfolding in your life. Yes, thank you. Thank you, spirits. Thank you, guides. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, angels. We are transforming. And again, when we transform as humans, it can be very overwhelming. So we need to make sure that we're using, once again, joy, creativity, and rest as part of our strategies. I read something today. It's not indulgence. It's not an indulgence. It's part of your strategies. So work that in. We are no longer being shamed for resting. We are no longer being shamed for creating, right? No, that's a part of how we create our world. Okay, so let's just get a few like clarifying cards, like maybe what do we need to know? Maybe what aren't we seeing here? Let's take a peek and drop a comment. I want to know where you're all at. Where are you feeling sparked? Where are you feeling inspired to act? You know, are there any illusions or delusions that have, you know, you recognize, you know what, that it doesn't resonate with me anymore. I'm going to do things a little bit differently. So let me know in the comments where you're at. All right. Okay. We'll tell one or two more here. So we got we got the Strength card out, Major Arcana. This one flew out. Okay. Hello. We got the 2 of Pentacles and the 2 of Swords. We're going to take these 2 as well. Perfect. All right. I love this. All right, so the first card we got here is the Strength card. I just felt this one was going to come out too. With like, we have like the number 17, which equals number 8. We got the 8 too here. So this is the Strength card. This is natural flow, divine timing, patience and perseverance, but not pushing and forcing, right? Patience, perseverance, but not pushing. We are flowing, we are not forcing. This is recognizing those underworld moments, right? All of those things that need to be just unearthed in order to seek some karmic abundance and balance here. You know, a lion, I always say a lion, we're being supported by heaven, right? With that infinity. And a lion doesn't have to prove it's a lion. It just knows it's a lion, right? It just is. It just takes up space, like we talked about a couple readings ago. So take up space, move in divine timing, and have the strength knowing that you're on the right path. Okay, next card we got here, the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. 2 of Pentacles in the upright is making sure that we're creating balance in our structures, in our foundations. It's all the things that we can physically touch, right? Our health, our job, our wealth, all of that, our family structure, right? And in the reverse position, it's saying, hey, something needs to be balanced out. Perhaps you need to make a decision based on some kind of health, wealth, family, all of that kind of stuff that will bring you more structure and foundation as you're navigating these rough seas behind you. Okay, so where are you out of balance? You know, like, do you need to move? Do we need to get a different job that resonates? You know, do you need to pick up a different health pattern, you know, or exercise, eat right? What is it? What's out of balance? What do you need to bring back into balance? Then we get the Two of Swords in reverse. Lots of twos, lots of decisions, right? So this in the upright is Swords of the mind, right? So where are we getting stuck in our mind? Where are things maybe not being super clear, right? Like maybe we can't trust what we're seeing with our eyes, but we can tap into our intuition and feel it in our heart space, feel it in our soul space, our soul cell, you know? And so it can mean two things. In the reverse position, it's either we're refusing to make a decision here, or this is we have made the decision and we're moving on here. So something needs to change. Maybe it's how we think, right? Our mind creates a lot of our reality. It creates a lot of our vibration. We heard that in the first card there, right? So where do we need to make clear, concise decisions that will balance our energy and contribute to the strength in how we show up in the world, right? Maybe not playing these games, these mind games. Maybe we're unsubscribing from what we're actually seeing in our physical world, and we're tapping into what we're feeling intuitively and what we know within ourselves. The next card we got to support that is the Knight of Pentacles. Again, more with that earthy, tangible energy here. He's riding a dark horse. Means like maybe there's something that you need to let go of in order for a seed to be planted. And the Knight of Pentacles is bringing you some kind of gift, right? He's bringing you some kind of something that you can plant, structure, foundation, something to support, but you're going to need to make a decision to either stop abiding by other people's rules, right? And take back that sovereign action, or call yourself out in some kind of space. Or maybe don't let the distractions, like we were talking about at the beginning of the session, distract you from planting new seeds and manifesting your new realities and your truth into being. And then the last card we got here is the Hangman in reverse. Okay, so normally it's like this, right? Hangman is in reverse, means a couple different things. Hangman, take a beat, take a seat, right? We've kind of take a time out to get some kind of illumination, to get some kind of wisdom moment, clarity, aha moment. So this card could mean you're not taking time for that rest, joy, celebration, creativity. You're letting all of these overwhelming feelings completely overwhelm you, burning you out. So maybe you need to take a minute, or you need to kind of come out from the underworld and start implementing, as you know, Neptune and Aries would say, okay, it's about time, guys, it's about time. Especially when we roll around February 17th, when things start moving and shaking and we have that eclipse and that Chinese New Year, that, you know, that horse really starts shifting into place. So maybe you're going to hang out here for a little bit. Maybe you're going to kind of, think about things. Maybe you're going to kind of feel into things a little bit more, get your structure in place, get your foundation in place. But then it's time to kind of call your bullshit out, come out of hiding, pick up your sword of truth, right? And start to do the darn thing. Okay, so this is your reading for today. Let me know how it resonated for you. Follow us for, more guidance in how to navigate through this energy, where next month is going to be insanely huge. So stick around to have help with that. If you've made it so far in the reading, thank you so much for watching. I am wishing everyone lots of love and blessings, especially through this big transitional energy. Take care.